In other Square Enix news, Dragon Quest's 35th anniversary. So on May 27th, Square Enix celebrated its 35th anniversary of the Dragon Quest franchise. It was roughly a 1-hour stream. And if you guys did not watch the stream, it was a wild stream to watch. Because not only were there some cool announcements, there's just a lot of goofiness going on with this stream that made me kind of shocked in a way, right? But the live stream consisted of series creator Yuji Horii, and then there was this other host that was sitting at a desk, and he would kind of like discuss with Yuji about the game and act like he really wanted all this information, about the game, and he was super excited about it. And then they would have different presenters, which were usually directors of the various games they were announcing, and they would kind of talk about the game and stuff like that. So the reason I say this was wild was, number one, if you watch the English stream, there was this poor woman that was trying to translate for the stream, right? And so she was translating the Japanese and English, but she was trying to translate for like multiple people at once. And the people talking were completely unaware of her doing this. And they paid no mind to the fact that this woman was trying to like translate it. So they were yapping like at 1,000,000 miles an hour back and forth. And she's, oh, okay. So, okay. Yeah. So I'm really excited. Okay. Yes. And it's just, holy crap, dude, this woman's doing amazing, but this is very stressful to listen to because she's trying to follow this conversation. And she's just at some point, she just starts cutting out large parts of it. She's just getting right to the grid of like what the hell they're saying. And so good job to her, but it was wild to watch. Like, I can't believe they didn't think this through a little bit better, but like, why are they streaming it? Why didn't they just record it, then have someone come in later and post some like audio dubs, and then they could have shown like a premiere on YouTube or something, and it would have been a similar effect, but that probably would have been better, because there was also a very awkward moment in the presentation where this game called Dragon Quest Treasure was announced. And it's not really a game that I'm interested in, and we're probably not going to talk too much about it, but after they showed off the game, they went back to Yuji Horii, and he was laughing, and he said, the only thing he contributed about the game was that the director of the game, like, he got fat. And he's like, I really want to show a picture of what he used to look like when he got hired here like 13 years ago. He gained a lot of weight.
So that was another big surprise. So Dragon Quest Treasures. So this is a completely new title then, Hori-san. Yes, I guess it will become like that, yes. So, Ines-san used to work on Monsters, and, we worked, from the very early days of Dragon Quest. It's been a long time. In the beginning, he was so skinny in the beginning. And what, really? He doesn't look, and he's worked so hard, and I think that's what now he looks like that. I'd like to show you the picture of him back then. What, really? Wait, are you sure?
And I'm just like, is that really how it was translated? Like, because like the people all in the chat are like, dude, he's fat shaming this guy. Like, I don't know, but it was kind of like alarming, but kind of like, okay, this is probably why you don't live stream this crap, because Yuji might say some wild stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that was an interesting point I wanted to bring up, but let's talk about these announcements here. So we're going to hit the main highlights there. There was a lot of stuff that was announced, but some of it was stuff that's only coming out in Japan, and it wasn't even that big of news. So we're going to kind of keep things contained here. We're going to just quickly hit some of the bigger items. Are you still good for time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So big thing here, Dragon Quest X, the online game, which has only been released in Japan. A lot of people were hoping that they were going to announce a Western localization. So the announcements was basically like another expansion, no Western localization. They even had an asterisk that said there's no worldwide release planned, so people would know. And we kind of predicted this in episode 157, but what they did show was a Dragon Quest X offline version, which looks to have kind of like DS graphics, maybe a tad above that.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the same story as Dragon Quest X Online, but it's a solo game. And this is something that we predicted, but Right now, Square is officially saying there's no plans for a Western release, but I mean, there's no voice acting, it's all text dialogue. So I'm sure it'll make its way over to kind of appease the people who keep asking about a Dragon Quest X localization, that this will be the best thing they can do. It looks like right now it's officially coming out in Japan first.
Yeah. Even if they don't translate it,
Somebody will unofficially do it.
somebody will unofficially do it since it's an offline version of the game,
Yeah.
right? Somebody will dump the game onto the PC and then get a translation effort underway because the Dragon Quest fans in the West, they care about at least having access to all the games,
Yeah.
in some form.
Yeah.
So,
I'm pretty confident at the very least, if, they don't do an official port, we'll eventually get to play it over here without us having to learn Japanese, you know?
yeah.
So that'll be nice. Okay. So we have Dragon Quest 3 being remade in Octopath Traveler style graphics. So this is using that HD 2D look that was popularized by Octopath, but also most recently Project Triangle Strategy. And it's actually got a producer that worked on Octopath Traveler and various Day Life, which, if you don't know what that game is, it's an RPG on the Apple Arcade. It's okay. I have to play it some more. But, anyways, so that producer's working on this as well, but it's a complete remake of the classic Dragon Quest III with the Octopath Traveler style graphics. And I am such a big fan of this. I love Dragon Quest III. I originally played it on the Game Boy, but it came out on multiple platforms. It came out on the NES, the SNES, and then the Game Boy, and then there was a DS version as well, and it's come out on mobile. And there's been so many different versions. So this is now Dragon Quest III with the Octopath Traveler graphics. Very, very excited about this, but they said there's going to be a simultaneous worldwide release. And wildly enough, we predicted all sorts of remakes that could appear at this presentation. We thought, okay, any Dragon Quest 4 through 6, those are already in the DS. Those will clearly come over. Possible. We predicted maybe Dragon Quest 8 because that was really popular. We're talking about
Mhm.
Dragon Quest 9 because there's some rumblings about that. Now it was 3. We hit almost every number.
Except the right one. Yeah.
Yeah, except the right one. So it was Dragon Quest 3. But I was
Yeah.
really, really excited to see this. What did you think about that?
It looks really good. Yeah. And yeah, you look at it and based on the aesthetic, you're just like, oh, they put Dragon Quest in the Octopath Traveler engine. Like, because it's so distinct, you
Hmm.
know? And it looks great. I think it's a really good way to remaster or remake like an older sprite based game, you know, because you don't lose that 2D or kind of like wide field map element to the game, versus
Right,
like
right, right.
remaking it with like a third person camera behind a character. So yeah, and also like we got to see a quick shot of like the world map, like the characters moving on what looks like to be like kind of a world map, which Octopath Traveler and Project Triangle Strategy don't have. So it's not like they just ported the game into Octopath Traveler's engine and drew some new sprites and are
Yeah,
like
yeah. I
using
see.
all the same assets of what they had,
They've
right?
done some work.
Yeah, they've done some work here, like, and they're also expanding, like improving upon the HD 2D engine or
Yeah, it
whatever they
looked
call it. Yeah.
really good. I thought it looked really good. I mean,
Mhm.
some people didn't like a lot of the effects that were in Octopath Traveler. I think you brought that up as well. That it kind of some of the lighting effects was a little bit
Yeah.
atrocious, and this
Yeah, and
seemed very much non-existent in this game. Like they just completely removed that, but it was still that HD 2D look.
yeah, and I like they showed a battle and kind of at the start of the battle, you look at your characters at kind of an angle, like it has kind of an angled approach. It reminds me of Golden Sun, like those
Yeah,
Game
yeah.
Boy Advance games, Golden Sun. When the battle started, you could see your characters and you could see the enemy characters, and it was kind of at an angle. And then when you selected your commands, the battle it kind of shifted to a slightly different angle. This one, it shows your characters at the start, and then you select your actions, and it goes to kind of the traditional Dragon Quest view where it's almost like your character's view of just like looking at directly at the enemies. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great, man. And to give some context here, I played this game originally on the Game Boy. I rented it from like Blockbuster,
Mhm.
and I rented it like I just kept renting it. Like,
I did that with some games before, yeah.
yeah, I love this game, and I'm very nostalgic about it. I recently went back and recently, it was probably like a year ago, but I went back and played it on the Super Nintendo. It originally came out on the NES, but that version I would not recommend playing that version. They made so many optimizations for the Super Nintendo. And so I had never played that version. So I played it on there. And that's actually an upgrade over the Game Boy version that I
Mm,
played,
yeah.
you know? And so it was really fun to kind of revisit that world again. And, you know, it is an NES game. So it's not going to be this epic storyline, but it's got a really well built gaming loop to it that keeps you coming back. It's a standard RPG, but it's just
It's a tried and true method,
yeah, it
yeah.
was really good. I mean, the dungeons are perfectly paced. There's enough story there for where if you are into like the historical aspect of RPGs, if you do like looking at them from the lens of what they were back then, I think you'll be really impressed with the story that is there because there is quite a bit. There's a lot more than Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 3, that's for sure. And so it's a really good game. I still enjoy playing it to this day. And when I saw this as an HD 2D remake, I was like, dude, I'm buying that and I'm playing the entire game all the way through because it's
Yeah.
a really it's that was the first Dragon Quest game that was literally like, wow, this is a good game. You know, that was kind of like the Final Fantasy 4 for Dragon Quest.
Yeah, I think like 3, 5, 8, and now 11 are the ones. I'm not a Dragon Quest expert, so
You that was accurate though.
yeah, those are like the ones, right? 3, 5, 8, and 11 are the ones that like will like say like, yeah, that was those are the kind of the cream of the crop like of the Dragon Quest
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also I didn't think about it until recently, but like Dragon Quest 11 has a lot of ties to 3, right? Because it's like referencing that hero in the
Mhm.
story, like the hero from number 3. And there's like some flashback sequences where you get to see
Mhm.
that character. And so, why didn't we think of 3 as like the next logical step?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it just makes so much sense. What was interesting about this too is that Yuji Horii, after the showing of that trailer, and they were talking about Dragon Quest 3, he also said, we're going to do the same thing for Dragon Quest 1 and 2. And then somebody started blowing a whistle, and the whistle was like, hey, shut up. And he was like, oh, when they blow that, I'm supposed to stop talking. And then they're like, wait, are we getting 1 and 2 remakes? And he was like looking over and he's like, I'd really like to. Yes. So I don't know. It kind of seemed like that was confirmed that we're getting Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes.
I think it's hilarious that they have a whistle because it shows that like they're aware of this problem or it's like something that happens. Like, does he have like a publicist
Well,
who like
clearly
just
his
goes out
mouth
with
is a
him in public? Yeah.
clearly his mouth is a problem. He said that other developer was fat, like on a live stream. Like, so I'm sure. Why did they put him on a live stream? Like, this would be a highly edited video if it were.
Right.
So, anyways, we might be getting Dragon Quest 1 and which is something we also did not say. Um, so, very, very cool though. And it's going to be coming to the West. It's going to be a worldwide release. They said home consoles. So, presumably it'll be on Switch, maybe the Sony PlayStation also. I'd prefer to play this on the Switch. So, that's where I would pick it up most likely.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and then the big announcement of the day Dragon Quest 12 appeared at the 35th anniversary. Now,
Appeared in
yeah,
quotes.
yeah. Yuji Horii says they're making changes with this game, right? This is going to be a different type of Dragon Quest. And so it was described as a Dragon Quest for adults, or adults are the target audience. And so there's going to be some changes with the story and kind of like the maturity of it. And then also he talked about the battle system. It's not going to be a command based battle system. It'll be something different, although he promises it will be familiar enough to those that like the battle system from before, that it's not going to be totally foreign, but it's not going to be a command-based battle system as we think of it. It's going to be different. And I mean, he gave some other vague stuff. I mean, he said it's going to be a worldwide release. He described the story as, and I'm quoting, "It is about having options. Choose your own way on how to play," which sounds like every game I've ever played. Um, he said the game is going to ask, "What is the purpose of life?" All right. And then he says there's a decision being made by the character.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad that
Yeah.
not like, and then he describes further, he says, not like choosing your wife, like, prior Dragon Quest games, like more like being in control of your life. So we predicted that if this game did show up at the 35th anniversary, that it probably would just be like a logo reveal.
And we were correct this time.
Yeah, we were correct. So pretty much, I mean, he didn't really specify much more that was useful other than enough to like stir the crap in the cauldron, because I do not like the way he described this. I mean, the idea that it's going to be a Dragon Quest for adults, so we're changing things, and then they're changing the battle system, and he's talking about this being a different type of game. I mean, he might just be trolling us, but Dragon Quest was about not changing.
Yeah.
That's what
Tradition.
people liked about it, right?
Yeah.
And so, similar to like when I look at Guerrilla Games with Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West, they took what people liked, and they just expanded on it.
Yeah.
So Dragon Quest 11 was very successful. So why would you think, oh, now we need to change it? No, you need to double down on that and just improve on the things that people disliked. Maybe let people save anywhere. Maybe make the battles a little bit faster. But you don't need to make it like, what are we going to get? Like an action-based game? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. And then, this idea that like the original Dragon Quest, like Dragon Quest 11 was not geared towards adults. Dude, there was so much sexual windows in there. There was doing drugs. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you had a character that would regularly get caught with porn magazines. Like, this is not something that's like for 4-year-olds,
Right. Yeah.
So so what I get from that is it's going to be grittier,
Yeah.
and
Well, it's called The Flames of Fate, right? That's the subtitle. Fate
which,
Hat. It's our favorite JRPG
yeah, it's my favorite theme.
subplot. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Favorite
identify
theme.
with that regularly, because fate is just constantly in my way, freaking
Yeah.
fate god.
Yeah, like you're saying, I hope that the Square Enix side is not like, or the Square side rather, is not interfering here and telling Yuji Horii like, okay, 11 sold well, but now 12 has got to be even bigger. And to do that, we got to cater to a wider audience. We
So
need
here's Team
gritty,
Ninja.
yeah, we need grittier themes. Uh, Fate is popular in all our recent Final Fantasy games, so you got to put that in there, right? Oh, the combat, it's got to be how like more action oriented, and like,
And somebody in the room is like, you realize this was the game that sold well.
yeah,
Like, it sounds like you're making a new game.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, we don't know, but it sounds like that might be kind of his frame of mind. Like,
Literally everything I learned about it, I didn't like.
yeah,
so, so but I'm trying to be like, I know people are on online being like really excited about this and trying to be really positive about it. And I think that's cool. I saw a lore runner. He said that he thought the adult, like the fact that it's made for adults, that he thought that must have just been like a translation error. But
could be.
I
Could be.
rewatched it and I was like, dude, if that's a translation error, they made lots of errors, but I think he was just trying to be positive. Like, we're going to wait and see. Like, I'm pretty sure it'll turn out well because I trust Yuji Horii. I trust Dragon Quest, which I do trust, but I do know he's getting old and he's becoming less and less involved with these. And
Yeah.
I really hope this is not the direction they go with it, but it might be amazing. I just don't like change.
Yeah, we'll see. It's Dragon Quest though, so I imagine they're
How are you
gonna
going to have
pull
a
the reins.
freaking slime with a smiley face? and it's supposed to be like gritty.
Yeah.
Is he
I'm
gonna have like
sure
a
that
frown face? You know?
yeah, even if they do make it more adult oriented, I'm sure they'll have the reins on that, and be tugging it back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine like I don't know, like the FF7 or FF8 of Dragon Quest all of a sudden just appears like for number 12.
Dude, that yeah, that is such the crazy thing to think about too, because Final Fantasy 7 was my first Final Fantasy, and I loved it, obviously, right?
Mhm.
But I would have been the person if I had played it since Final Fantasy 1. When I saw Final Fantasy 7, I would have been like,
What have they done? Yeah.
yeah, this isn't Final Fantasy. Like it's
Yeah.
like there's no like what are cars? You
He's
know,
driving a motorcycle,
like
right?
this is not like this is like the heart of Final Fantasy. This is not the spirit of Final Fantasy. It's totally
Right.
ruined. Don't like it. You know?
Yeah.
That would have been me. And then I would have played it and been like, this is amazing. But so it's one of those things where I'm just right now I'm unhappy and I'm gonna sit in this unhappiness and then hopefully, we get a trailer or something and I can see some slimes. I can see some, smiling dragons. I can see, I can see some Dragon Quest crap. And I'm just like, all right, this is just, maybe grittier because it's at war or something. Like there's a war, but it's still, kind of a fun atmosphere. I'm
Yeah, I
hoping.
agree. Yeah. I mean, I'm not thrilled with this kind of game reveal, um, like, where all you show is, like, we already complain, like, they tend to just show a conceptual trailer of, like, CG, like a lot of game announcements, and then that stuff doesn't end up in the game. But I think even worse is just showing a logo, right? And being like, "The game exists. We're working on it." It's like, okay, now people are just gonna be kinda sitting in, like, anticipation of something concrete, right? Like, something tangible. Whereas but I understand why they did it because if it's the anniversary celebration, right? And if all they showed was, that cell phone game, the Dragon Quest X, 2 games, I guess, information, and then the HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest III, and there was no information about 12, people would be like, "This was a waste of time." Right?
Hmm.
Like, this was not worthy of, like, having an event for this. You could have just dropped those YouTube trailers and, like, individually at some point. But it's Dragon Quest 12 that makes it kind of rounds it out and makes it like an event, but it is disappointing that they didn't really have anything to show, and like you mentioned, all the details were super vague. So,
Yeah. And the game's apparently not going to come out for a long time.
yeah.
They
Good old Square Enix, right?
like
Always
it's,
announcing their games 5 years ahead of time.
yeah, it's apparently a ways off. So like it's like, I don't know what they're going to announce at the next anniversary. I mean,
Yeah.
anyways, so we'll have to see. We're in agreement though. We are not fans of this type of reveal. I mean, I was mad that when they showed Final Fantasy 16 and it was PC footage at the it was
Mhm.
literally a freak PS5 reveal event, and it was the only game at the PS5 reveal event where it's showing PS5 games, and it was the only game not running on a PS5. Like I was like this, like
What are you doing?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was not happy with that. So clearly just showing me a logo. I mean, I thought the same thing with God of War that, for the reveal of that, where it's just a logo. I'm like, why'd you even announce it? Elder Scrolls 6. Why did you even show me that? That's stupid. A Fable. So I'm very consistent. I don't like these types of reveals. So we'll see.
Mhm.
Anyways, is there anything else at the presentation that you wanted to hit? I mean, I feel like we mostly hit everything that they talked about. They did announce some other games too, but they're Japanese only, and they were like Dragon Quest Treasure Hunter, and there was another game that was some other side project that looked like it was Japanese only, and
Yeah,
my brain turned off because I can't play those games. So
exactly. Yeah. Not that important for us.
yeah, okay. So I think that's pretty much it for Dragon Quest. So at this point, I do want to bring up that Square Enix is going to have their E3 presentation next Sunday, right?
The 13th.
The 13th. Yeah. And so as of right now, we are looking to hopefully stream it, depending on what's going on with our, personal life. Nothing pops up. But we're going to try to stream that and just, you can see our reactions to whatever Square is going to announce. And then we'll also have kind of like a post discussion, assuming there's something to talk about, which I'm sure there will be. So hopefully we'll get some more information on that Final Fantasy project. Maybe there will be a Dragon Quest 12 trailer, maybe not. And should be pretty fun. So definitely want to get that out there and look forward to that. Hey, thanks for sticking around till the end. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And also, check out our audio version. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and practically any podcatcher you can think of. Also, we have a fantastic media partner at RPGFan.com. Be sure to go check them out for your latest RPG reviews and news, as well as some other kick-ass podcasts with Rhythm Encounter, Retro Encounter, and Random Encounter. Go check them out. We'll see you next time.